All right, so we covered that story. We talked about covering the story, so we covered it. Let's move on here to another story and exactly have some fun with this particular one. This is an interesting story here. I don't know if you're watching the studio right now here, but
Yes.
let's take a funny break. Yeah, this story broke yesterday. A Hershey's chocolate film is in the works. Finn Wittrock and Alexandra Daddario have been set to star in Hershey, a live-action film about the story behind one of the world's most famous chocolate companies. Wittrock will play Milton Hershey, who, alongside his wife Kitty, that's Daddario, built a candy empire which powered a philanthropic legacy. The pair founding the Hershey Industrial School that provided free education and housing to orphans and underprivileged children. Decades before his death, Milton would transfer the majority of his fortune into Milton Hershey School Trust, which became one of the wealthiest educational endowments in the country. Mark Waters, who I love from Mean Girls and Freaky Friday, will direct the project, which will shoot in Pennsylvania starting in May and be released in 2026. Waters said in a statement, against all odds, Milton achieved great success, but unlike a lot of other wealthy men of his time, he shared his success with the working people and community around him. Sharon Paul, Mark Tibbin, and Maria Lowe, Joshua Harris will hardly produce. The Hershey Company will which also owns brands like Kit Kat and Twizzlers, is the fifth largest chocolate company in the world by revenue, behind Mars Wrigley, Ferraro Group, Mondelez International, and Meiji Company Limited there. So, Sean, I know the initial response is to compare this to the Kool-Aid movie from the studio, but I mean, the story here seems to have more serious elements to it that could lend itself to be more like The Founder or The Social Network. What are your thoughts when you hear this?
Right. I mean, it's the headlines yesterday, the tweets about this yesterday were hilarious. And immediately people like using pictures of Seth Rogen from the studio, like Hershey's. And it's funny. The joke, like that show has just like completely satirized Hollywood so perfectly.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between using chocolate as a springboard for a story and using the foundation of a company as the foundation for a story. In particular, when you're talking about people that grew this chocolate empire and then used it to make the largest educational endowment ever. So it's a story of a philanthropy. It's a story of a great rich but great generosity. That's a story. It's an actual thing that happened that's interesting. And we've all eaten Hershey's chocolate, but how many of us know the story of the actual influence beyond that, where there's people being educated. There's people because I bought the chocolate bar.
Right.
That's not the same thing as the Kool-Aid man would be like. I only saw the tweets yesterday, and so when I was prepping for this, I read the article and okay, this is a movie about the company. It's not chocolate bar.
Yeah, I love this in its approach, right? Look, first of all, Mark Waters is a great choice to get. What he was able to do with Mean Girls and Freaky Friday, he's got a little bit of an impish sense of humor with what he does, but underneath there's some great heartfelt moments in both of those movies, some great commentary about connecting with people and being honest with who you are and wanting to do good for other people. You see that throughout both of those movies. Yes, it's very contained in terms of the friends group or the family situation, Freaky Friday, but it's very much about like finding the goodness within what's going on and the madness of it all. And nowadays, as I alluded to, I mean, you see the world is going crazy. People are angry at billionaires. People are supporting billionaires and their instincts and all this stuff. So a film that comes out that is about a person with wealth and achieving so much success who's giving back to help the community, to help people, to educate people at a time when education is being cut all over the place. Here's a story that's coming along to tell you that education is important, education is valid, and that this is a man who took his money, or a company that took their money and put it where their mouth was in terms of helping people and getting and making the world a better place. And I think that's a good thing, good energy and good message to have in a movie like this.
Right. Exactly. And that's first class. I get why people don't like, but as soon as you look back a couple years ago, was it 2023 was like the year of product movies?
Yes.
Air, BlackBerry, Tetris, and Cheetos. There was a Cheetos movie. I actually eat those movies are just so entertaining to me. They're so interesting to me because there's these brands we engage with and there's a whole story about where they came from. And in the case of this one, it's a story it's inspirational. It's about people using great success to help other people.
Yeah.
That's something great to put out in the world right now.
Yeah. And I'm curious to see how Finn Wittrock and Alexandra Daddario doing a movie like this. You know, I think Daddario's been building since White Lotus, certainly the first season of True Detective, but like White Lotus is what really kind of got Alexandra even further out into the public, so to speak. And now with Finn Wittrock, one of these up and comers who's been going through the last few years, getting more and more attention for himself. Got to be real curious to see what they can come up with along with Mark Waters. So yeah, we will see. We will see.